paperback and e-readers this March. John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant cover editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose this March. I had the displeasure of watching the trailer for Tyler Perry's A Fall from Grace, which is coming to Netflix later this year. And after watching that trailer for Tyler Perry's A Fall from Grace, I had to shake my head. Because this trailer featured all of the racist stereotypes that white racists depict black men in films like A Birth of a Nation or films like The Color Purple. It is a film that demonizes the image of black men and presents the black man as a black brute. Now, when I take a critical examination of Tyler Perry's trailer for A Fall from Grace, it features a very one-sided story. And in that story, which fits the Tyler Perry paradigm, we get this single, successful, well-educated, middle-aged woman, Grace, who feels like her life is unfulfilled because she does not have a man. And because she does not have a man and it feels like she is getting old and up in years and is desperate, she decides to pursue a relationship with a younger man played by a Mehcad Brooks from Supergirl. However, the way Tyler Perry has written this character has me really looking at him with a side eye because his depiction of black men clearly shows that he has some serious issues with black men, because it seems like in this movie he escalates and amplifies the image of the black brute to brand new levels I haven't seen since No Good Deed a couple of years ago. Now, in this movie, the younger man that Mehcad Brooks is playing, he is presented as a dark-skinned, angry, violent, and abusive man who is controlling and manages to do things like take advantage of steal this woman's identity and put her job at risk. And when I looked at the depiction of black men in this film, again, I saw a complete demonization of the black man, and I saw a message that was sent between the lines of this movie to teach black girls and black women who watch Tyler Perry movies to hate black men and not see black men as attractive, lovable, or desirable. And I found that to be quite troubling because here we have a black man who owns his own movie studio and can produce his own films and can revolutionize the black image, but instead of him making efforts to try to present a balanced and humanized image of black men and black women that gives us an objective picture of black on black relationships, instead he gives us a completely unbalanced picture of black on black relationships and demonizes the black man as someone who is incapable of loving a black woman and presents the black woman as someone who needs to be abused and victimized. And I found that to be quite troubling because that's not, when people create media, they create media to present an ideal as for relationships. And what I'm seeing from Tyler Perry and many others is that the ideal for black women is to put up with abuse. And that's not something that I consider to be normal because I grew up in a household where I didn't see my mother being abused or the women in my family being abused. And I didn't grow up seeing women being victimized by black brutes. And what I'm seeing from, again, Tyler Perry and people like your Alice Walker is this completely unbalanced picture as related to black relationships. And what people aren't getting from this media is a picture of a healthy relationship between a black man and a black woman that promotes the concept of black on black love and showing that black on black love can be successful. I mean, I look at this film and I looked at the most recent Queen and Slim, and again, it's all about promoting the idea that black people cannot love each other without there being some sort of abuse or some sort of tragedy. And that type of narrative and that type of message is a toxic one when you really think about it, because this type of media, when you imbibe too much of it, what it does is it changes your frame of thinking, and it has you only thinking about black men being violent, being controlling, being abusive, being bullies, and not being a man who can be a good husband, a good father, and a good person. That, instead of that, all you think of is black men being no good, and all you think of black women is as hapless victims who are just designed to sit there and take abuse. And this is what a lot of little girls are getting from Tyler Perry movies, and black women are getting from Tyler Perry movies, is that it's acceptable to take abuse from black men. And that's not the case when you have a healthy relationship. In a healthy relationship, both the man and the woman, they want to do unto others as they would want done unto themselves, and they want to love their wife as themselves, because they see that woman as an extension and a reflection of themselves. That's what a person who reads the Bible would see in a healthy relationship, but we're not getting that from Tyler Perry, because Tyler Perry wants to push only one narrative as related to black on black relationships, and that narrative is one that I consider to be extremely toxic. Now, in my own SJS Direct imprint books, I always try to make an effort to present people with balance as related to black on black relationships, with books like A Recipe for Success, The Temptation of John Haynes, Spinsterella. Whenever I do a romance or Easting the Sands of Time, I try to give you balance so that you can see the black man and the black woman and what motivates them to act certain ways or behave certain ways. And I also try to present you with a picture that shows you the whole story, so that you just don't get a one-sided story where all we're doing is feeling sorry for a so-called black female victim. No, but when I write a story, I want you to take a look at both characters and their actions and motivations, so that you can draw your own conclusions about their actions. That's what an objective storyteller does when they're presenting a story, because they want you to draw your own observations and conclusions regarding the actions transpiring around you. But someone like Tyler Perry, who still has not, as I believe, dealt with the issues as related to his personal life and the abuse that was inflicted upon him, what he does is project that abuse and presents it as a model and an ideal for black men and black women to follow, not understanding that he is only promoting and amplifying this type model for behavior in his stories, and that model he's presenting is a toxic model that is only teaching little girls and little boys and men and women who watch his films that abuse is perfectly fine. And I've also seen this in other forms of black literature, and again, I find it to be quite troubling that people think it's okay to abuse another individual, and that it's okay for black women to sit there and tolerate abuse, when that's not the case at all. If you come over to the SJS Direct imprint, there is no abuse in any of the stories that I write regarding black men and black women. There is no black brutes. There's a balanced, humanized image of a black man and a balanced and humanized image of a black woman. And again, I just find it sad that Tyler Perry still continues to promote this anti-black man narrative and this anti-black on black love narrative in his films. And when I look at this film, A Fall from Grace, it shows that he has truly fallen as related to his creativity, because for him to make a film like this, which really presents one of the most violent black brutes I have ever seen in my life, and see to show him brutalizing a black woman. This film, it's one of the most troubling ones I've seen so far. And this is, again, if you watch too many of these types of films, they will do and inflict major damage on the minds and developments of many of the black men and women who watch these types of Tyler Perry films. But I look at him, and again, I see a serious issue with Tyler Perry as related to his presentation of black male and female relationships. And it's one of those things that makes me wish I could get out here and make some films featuring my material, like Spinsterella, like A Recipe for Success, like A Temptation of John Haynes, or Easting the Sands of Time, so that people can get a counterpoint as related to black male and female relations, and to get a picture of what a balanced, healthy relationship between a black man and a black woman looks like, and get a clear picture of black on black love out there, so that people can see that people who are black love other black people, and people who are black can treat other black people in a loving and caring way. Even though they have obstacles, we have obstacles we run into, we still love each other, we still care for each other, and we know where there's a line that you do not cross. And if you're supposedly, again, a so-called Christian like Tyler Perry, you would be all about promoting the messages of the Bible, like I try to do in my work, which is to love the Lord with all your heart, soul, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself, and to love your wife as you would love yourself, because that's what it stated in, I believe it was the Corinthians, that a man is supposed to love his wife as he would love himself. And that's something that I don't see being presented in your Tyler Perry movies, is the promotion of those messages of the Most High living God. And this is a man who says, again, that he was about promoting his Christian messages, but I don't see much Christianity in the messages of A Fall from Grace, or many of his other Tyler Perry films, which all present the worst images of black on black relationships, and how toxic a relationship is between a black man and a black woman, when I know, again, that's only a small microcosm and a small group of black people who have that type of dysfunction. And it takes somebody like myself to present a more balanced picture of relationships, so that people can see a more balanced picture of black on black love. If you want to see some positive depictions of black on black love and black love relationships, you can pick up my novels, A Recipe for Success, The Temptation of John Haynes, Spinsterella, and Easting the Sands of Time, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle formats. And some of those books, I believe, Easting the Sands of Time, is available on Kindle Unlimited for free. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.